the party in front of you and fill in all the available space. It is not necessary to form a single file line. Together, keep up the party in front of you and fill in all the available space. When it comes to cars, we go wild. I also recommend a fully up to them tightly. You don't want to drop anything. If you do drop anything, just wave it goodbye. Because anything else not this structure gravity anyway. Is this anyone's first time on the safari? Oh, me too guys, this is so exciting. Now our first stop on the day will be the Little Atari Forest, and this is home to some of the more camouflaging animals found in Africa. So I always do recommend keeping a sharper eye out, especially towards that thicker bamboo or thicker bushes, as you never know who's lurking in them or around them. Now while we're out in the reserve, just make sure we're not calling out to those animals, making noises or whistling, as it actually scares them away. And we want to be as close as possible to them. Starting off on the right hand side, see the okapi. The okapi is going to be that reddish colored animal with the stripes on its rear end. A lot of people think because of those stripes that they're related to zebras, but this is not true. They're more closely related to the giraffe, and this is because of their tongue, which is prehensile. Prehensile means long and finger-like, and this is going to help them strip those leaves right off of trees and tree branches. In case you're wondering, yes, they can lick their own eyeballs, and they do. This is to keep them nice and moist. I prefer to blink, but each of their own. And they are very rarely ever seen out in the wild, as they were only discovered in 1901. Before that, they were thought to be a mythical creature. Now on the right-hand side, I see the saddle-billed stork. The saddle-billed stork is going to get its name from the yellow piece on their beak that looks like a saddle. Their wingspan is about 6 to 9 feet, so about the same size of the canopy of this truck. 3,000 pounds. Their horns are made out of keratin, so the same thing as our fingernails in here. Also on the left is this rust-colored animal. That's going to be bongo. Both the male and female bongos are going to have those beautiful horns. Also on the left is that lighter tan animal. That is the greater kudu. The one that I see is a female. Only the male kudus are going to have those horns. Average about 3 to 6 feet in length. So kudos to them. As we exit the Little Atari Forest, we're going to make our way into the Safi River region, which is home to some of the more aquatic animals found in Africa. I always recommend keeping an eye out for dark shadows, bubbles, or ripples, as you never know what's lurking underneath this river water. I see some pink-backed pelicans on the right-hand side. Pink-backed pelicans are going to get their names from the pink skins on their backs and underneath their bills. During mating season, it's going to be as bright as, so I like to say that they're blushing. They do have this pouch underneath that bill, and a lot of people think they like to store fish in this pouch, but this is not true. They prefer to swallow them whole and alive. Bon appetit for real. Now this river water is home to Nile hippopotamus. So far I haven't caught a glimpse of any of them, but they are very heavy animals as they do weigh about 5,000 pounds. But end up being so heavy they can't even swim, so they just sink to the bottom of this river water and bounce up and down every time you need a breath of air. So I do recommend keeping an eye out for those dark shadows, but I'll keep mine out too. Now hippopotamus cannot sweat, so they have this pink slimy substance. So that's why they're usually underneath that river water to keep cool. Oh, I see. Be on our left-hand side. Just make sure we're staying fully seated. Your butt has to be on a seat. It looks like we're gonna have to cross this rickety bridge. Oh no, guys. A bridge over a troubled road water. Much rainwater as possible, as during the dry seasons it may not rain for several minutes at a time. Inside that baobab tree is like a giant sponge. Animals like the African elephant will actually dig their ivory tusks into that big baobab tree and collect water that they can't find elsewhere. Now the icon of Disney's Animal Kingdom is tree. One I see it all the way in the right hand side is a giraffe. That one is a Maasai giraffe, just judging by their spot pattern, but we'll get a better look of them momentarily. Now you're going to see this grayish colored animal on the right hand side. They're kind of clumped up together. This is the wildebeest, known as wild beasts. This is because when they were first discovered, they're considered to be such ugly animals. I think they're very cute though. They're going to travel in herds up to 1.5 billion in a distance of 500 to 1,000 miles per migration, which shows us how truly large back against their predators, taking those very slender horns and ramming up against them. Typically the males would be most at defending, but the females are never afraid to step in and show their claws. Some of the antelopes will use them as piles for their horns, perching spots, and even back scratchers. Since wildebeest travel in such large herds, they actually start their great migration, and other animals will start to join in with them. 18 inches in length. I like to say for every inch of tongue, it's about a foot of giraffe. You'll notice that spot pattern is more jagged and puzzle piece-like. The reticulated giraffe up on your spotting die is going to be more smooth and circular. See those beautiful spiral horns? They're going to wrap vines and flowers around them to create something called a flower crown. This is to impress the female eland. There's a couple of them out and about. The dominant male mandrill is going to weigh about 100 pounds. The average female only about 30 pounds, and then the average male about 50. You'll notice those brightly colored markings on their face and rear end. The more excited they get, the brighter they're. You'll notice there's some mud and hair on that elephant's back. They have very sensitive skin called pachyderm, so it wrap around these trees and rocks to get better views of them. I'll have a good view of the Maasai giraffe on our right, and a good view of those African elephants on the left. And there's that baby. Now that baby's gonna spend about 5 years with mom until she hits her teenage years, and then she'll start to distance herself. Now I do see the greater flamingos on our left-hand side. Greater flamingos are going to be the largest species of flamingos as well as the lightest shade of flamingo. A group of them what we're seeing right now is called a flamingo. Look closely at their legs as they do bend the opposite of ours, which is really interesting. can't put my finger on it. It reminds me of my boss. Now if you notice a gray color flamingo, that just means they're adolescent. As they don't get that meat coloring until about 2 years of age, and that's when their diet, which is mainly that brine shrimp and other crustaceans. On Earth, reaching speeds up to 60 miles per hour, but they only hold this speed for about 100 yards before they have to stop for about an hour to catch their breath. Much rather, a lot of times animals do love to perch up on these rocks, and I see some sleeping lions. They have no left where that big tree is. The male lions can be the only one with that beautiful mate, and the mate would take them all maybe 10 years to fully grow out. It doesn't even start growing until about 2 years of age. There's the lions on the left. That roar can be heard up to 5 miles out. And the females are going to do about 90% of the hunting for the prize, which is what we call a group of lions. Can be used to defend themselves. It's very tough to see with this bush here.